Welcome to the Women in Digital Dentistry podcast, where we empower through innovation. I'm Allison Lacoussiere, your host, and each week we'll explore the mindset and the skill set of creating a successful practice and life for women in business. From the latest in dental technology to mastering marketing strategies, creating team synergy, cultivating a powerful money mindset, this podcast is your resource to empower yourself and your team to have the most success possible. Whether you're an established business professional or just beginning your journey, we're here to help you unlock your full potential, lead with confidence, and have an incredible journey along the way. Welcome to the Women in Digital Dentistry podcast. Welcome to another episode of Women in Digital Dentistry. I am here with one of my favorite humans in the entire world, Anne Duffy. Welcome to our show.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. You're one of my favorite humans as well. And so I think we're going to have a great time today.
So I agree. This is going to be really fun. And I'm just so excited for our group, our community, our network to get to know you. And I have a feeling 99% of them already know you. But for those of you that don't, let me introduce Anne Duffy. Anne Duffy is the founder of DeW, Dental Entrepreneur Women, and DE, which is Dental Entrepreneur. And she is a maven in our industry. She is someone that for such a long time has put a flag in the ground and said, let's stand for women empowerment and rising together. And I have had my whole world changed because of you. And I know so many other women have had their world changed because of you. So I would love to just toss it over to you to share a little bit of your story and how you came to be the founder of DeW, and why it was so important to you.
Well, let me just start from the beginning. I'm a dental hygienist. I graduated from Ohio State in 1974. So I practiced clinically for until 2020, 46 years. And I have a lot of experience in dentistry. Started side gigging, working 2 days a week in hygiene, and then picking up the first side gig was a network marketing company that sold toothpaste and mouth rinse. And then I had a fresh breast center. And then I met a guy that was schlepping Dental Entrepreneur, Business Beyond the Classroom, on a trade show floor. And he brought me on board to sell advertising. So I was spinning a lot of plates in the air and loving it. And the gentleman that started that publication, and that just went to the dental schools, Allison, he had no passion for dentistry. He was just a journalist, he was a journalist and editor for a newspaper in North Carolina. And so he was going to quit doing it. I said, well, I'll just buy it from you. So I bought from him Dental Entrepreneur, Business Beyond the Classroom, and continued publishing that. And still to this day, we rebranded that about 4 years ago to Dental Entrepreneur, the Future of Dentistry. So when I bought it, I started to be more familiar, building bigger relationships with our authors, marketing people in the industry, because I was selling advertising to keep the magazine alive, and I had some really good friends in the industry in all different career paths through the OxyFresh as well. OxyFresh was the company. And so one day on a Thursday afternoon, I called up my good friend Sue, and just to see how she's doing, check in, if you will. And she was crying hysterically. I'm like, what's going on, Sue? And she says, I just came out of my 360 review, and my boss wrote in my review that my smile was insincere and it looked like I was plotting something against the company. And I was like, that's insane, Sue, because you're the most sincere person I know. She was the marketing person that always answered my emails, Allison, always returned my calls, put my big box of magazines underneath her booth. I mean, she was a dear friend. And I was so upset that I said, Sue, that's ridiculous. I'm going to start a magazine. I'm going to start another magazine to highlight women in dentistry. And that is literally how DeW started. It was a knee-jerk reaction, an Aaron Brockovich moment. I'm an activator on the strengths test. So I just hung up the phone and said, that's it. I'm going to start this. And I'll just call it Dental Entrepreneur Woman, because I already had Dental Entrepreneur. So within a span of about an hour and a half, I had a new magazine, and that was in 2016. And it has turned into a movement for women in dentistry. We're a media company. We try to position ourselves as the umbrella to support and lift up all the organizations that are aligned with us, and I know you love that word aligned, um, with lifting women up, with inspiring them, empowering them, and building a community. So, hence that's how we, got together. I think I met you through a good friend of ours. I can't remember how we first met, but I remember um, a couple of really great situations that we were in that we just connected from the moment we saw each other. So that's how I started and it's been a joy. It's been a joy because, good people find good people, and the people in dentistry are amazing, and especially the women. They love beauty, they're smart, they love caring, um, and they love connecting. You and I both know that women, there's something special when you bring women in a room and or you sit around a table, and it doesn't matter if it's my bunco group or if it's my church group or it's my dental group. It's always very special.
Mhm. Oh my gosh, it totally is. And I have had the pleasure of being in those rooms that you have facilitated virtually and in person, where we as women get to talk about some of the real things that we're facing in the industry. And as a young entrepreneur starting my company, there were many, like I really didn't know how to handle them. I didn't know who to talk to. But like you always say, the answers in the ladies' room, your community was one that I would turn to say, hey, does anybody else experience this? Is anybody else like going through this? Because
Mm.
you can feel quite isolated as an entrepreneur, especially as a woman in business, you know, doing things that maybe other people haven't done yet, or just trying to pave your own path. And so I just really want to speak to the value of what you've created and how much you've inspired me to go and build a community, women in digital dentistry, to help them feel the same way. And so it's just so powerful what you've done. What do you see as the future for women in dentistry? Where do you think this movement's going? What are you seeing? Because you talk to a lot of women and do. You get like kind of, I feel like you have like fingers into like so many places in dentistry. Where do you see the future of this movement going?
Well, I see it very bright, but I also see that we have a lot of work to do. Just recently, I saw somebody that was having a meeting and they had 30 speakers and two out of the 30 speakers were women. I'm like, how is this still happening? And I'm sure that hit you because it was a tech meeting and women are good in tech and there's a lot of women that can speak to it. So I feel like we have to advocate for each other. I see the future is on our backs. Um, and on your backs. I mean, I'm in the older end of my career, I would say. So I'm going to pull your hand, lift you up, but you guys are pushing us up too. We need each other. And so I think if we all come together, regardless of what age we are, or regardless what career stage we're in, we just need to come together, lock arms, and really advocate for women in particular that we know that maybe someone else hasn't heard of when an opportunity comes up or when they're not in the room. I think that's how we're going to get a bigger say in the leadership decisions that they're making in dentistry because we're still not there. I mean, 8 years ago was when I founded DeW, and this is again still happening. And I'm like, okay, more work to be done, but it's exciting. It's exciting. I mean, we've surpassed it as far as dentists graduating. It's I think 60% female now, as opposed to 50% female uh, compared to men. I mean, it's such a male dominated space. So how do we structure those positions for women to be able to give them honestly the balance they want and need for their families and for the other things that we like to do. I think it's coming around, and this from the balance standpoint, even men get burnout. So I think we need to change the look of what a CEO does and how they can function with still having balance and not giving up their entire life for the company, because we all know how well that works. It doesn't
Yeah,
really work well for a great life.
no.
And so I feel like that's maybe going to change the landscape of what we see in the future.
Absolutely. I see this as kind of like a two-part work in progress. Like one is the external situation that the world is in, with roles primarily being held by men. So there's like a expectation of like what that role looks like. And then of course there's the like internal referral network of hiring more men, bringing more men in to be groomed for higher level positions. So it's like the external world that we live in that is shifting and changing. And then the other part is the internal landscape of women and how they feel about themselves and how they advocate for themselves and others and how they step into feeling confident to say, I'm ready for that role, or I'm qualified for that role, or I want that role, or that's not fair, or no, or that's a boundary for me. And so those two things, I think, equally need to move forward. And one can't be done without the other, which is, as you know, where I focus on is that like internal world of the women that we're in. And then you're out there lifting women into positions and changing the landscape of internal organizations. And so both of those things are really important. And I heard this story, I can't remember where I heard it, but it was talking about how women historically didn't always support each other and they
Mm-hmm.
didn't always advocate for each other. And it was because when there was a leadership position open for women, there was only one position for the woman and the rest was for men. But it was like one for one woman.
Yeah, so you better fight for it, right?
Exactly. And so it was like not like we can all go forward. It was like there's one, so we got to compete and chase each other so that we can get into that position. And one of the things that I said when I was at my live event for women in digital dentistry is like, it's time to build our new table. If there's only one seat at the table, that's not the table we want to go to. Let's build our own. And
Yeah.
that I think is where we get the opportunity to really, like you said, pull each other up, push each other forward, believe in ourselves first. And it's very easy to love on someone else when we love ourselves. And so both of those things I think are so important.
Yeah, they really are, and I think you made a good point. And they say the men will raise their hand like pick me, pick me, pick me, and the women are like, I don't have enough education or I have enough experience. I'm not sure I can do that. We got to get rid of that because I mean we learn on the job also, and and it sometimes those soft skills the women have are overlooked. And so you're right, it starts internally. I'm worthy of this, right? I can do the job, and I just feel like you just have to say yes and show up. So
Mm-hmm.
often we've got everything we need to achieve anything we want. Um,
100%.
but I also think, Allison, and maybe you can help me with this, is like I want to empower women. But it goes back to what you said. We need to show them they want to be empowered,
Mm-hmm.
that they want to stretch themselves, they want to be uncomfortable, and say yes before maybe they're completely 100% ready, because nobody's really 100% ready for any new challenge that they have. We're not sure we can do it, but you still, if you say yes and you show up, the chances are 99% of it you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the other thing, is we just have to show them there's so much around it, because we do split our mind up with family, kids, dinner, uh, transferring people, our parents, you name it. I think it falls on the female shoulders more than it does fall on the men. So we have to figure out a way to delegate and be okay with that, and so that we can give time to the things that we really are meant to do,
Yeah.
and to make a bigger impact, not only in our lives, but in the world at large.
100%, 100%. And that's where, often I'm working with executives who are drowning. They really are drowning. And so much of that drowning can be like, put your life vest on. Like really, like we get to influence
Mhm.
that. We get to make that choice. Like when I said, you have to say no. You have to ask for help. You have to say, hey, I'm not doing that, but I'm going to do this. And
Mhm.
part of that's part of empowerment is knowing like, yes, I want that CEO role, but this is what it's going to look like for me so I can honor the things that are important in my life. And if the organization will not honor that and they are requiring you to work 90 hours a week and traveling every weekend, then that's just not the right fit for you if you want to have your family life balanced as well. But so often there are levers that we can pull that just aren't being pulled
Mhm.
because feeling of, oh, I just have to figure it out on my own. I just gotta do it all myself. Like I'm not gonna ask my husband for help. I'm not gonna ask for a cleaning service. I'm not going to ask for some of the things that like you have permission to not do on your own. And I think that's a mindset shift that I really want women to know is like, what does a CEO look like for you and how does it work for you? And then build out that and know that you're worthy of building that out.
Yeah. I think it's just the bravery of taking that step. I heard somebody recently say that they have a cleaning lady that come or a cleaning person that comes twice a week and does all the laundry because she hates this particular CEO hates doing laundry. And that was like a game changer. And I mean, that's something I never thought of. I mean, I'm still doing laundry. I don't know why. I hate folding clothes. I just discovered recently that my husband's really good at it. I'm like really good. I cannot fold a t-shirt like he does. And I'm like, why have I been folding these t-shirts all these years? So I mean, and I'm going to be married 50 years. It's been a long time coming. But now it's his job. But I guess the point about that is we want to hold all that onto ourselves, and we feel guilty about um, delegating chores like that. And what comes first? It is a push and a shove because sometimes you're not making the money that you want to be making to have somebody come to your house twice a week and do your laundry. But you have to free up your mind and your brain. And what comes first? Is the chicken or the egg? Every time you grow in your business, you have to give up something. And we don't have to give up spending time with our loved ones, but we can give up folding laundry or vacuuming or gassing our cars or all the little things that anybody can do. And I always think the mindset is I don't know, this is going to sound really, I hope it doesn't sound haughty, but I just love our yard guys. And I love Lizette, who takes care of my home. They're family. I love paying them. And I think that's just maybe a mind shift. I don't feel guilty one bit about that because they're feeding their families. I'm helping them. They're valued employees. So it doesn't necessarily need to be the employees working for me in the DeW dental entrepreneur media, but it's even bigger than that and beyond that. How can we really, I don't know, fund our lives to be balanced and also fund others by
100%.
being successful?
100%. It's so true. And I was talking to um, my editor today. I'm writing my book, and we were laughing about one of my chapters in my new book is going to be about receiving.
Uh-huh.
Women have a very hard time like receiving help, receiving support. It's like someone's like, "Oh, can I help you?" I'm like, "No, no, no, I'll do it myself." And even to the point with our partners, she had the example of her partner making her coffee, but not the way that she wanted, and she just couldn't say, "Oh, do you mind just adding a little bit more cream or a little bit less water?" She's like, I'm just gonna do it myself." And I
Mm.
so often is like, I'm just gonna do it myself. It'll be easier to do it myself. And of course we can do it ourselves, but we don't have to. And I had a meeting with my financial advisor last week, and he was like, "Wow, you know what the best investment you've ever made?" And I'm like, "No, what is it?" And he's like, "It's in yourself. Because you have this ability now to create the wealth that you want, create the life that you want, do the things that you want because you have the knowledge and the skill and the mindset to make it iterative over and over." And that I think is something that as women we need to remember is that you are your best investment for your life. You are the most important asset. And when you can realize that and recognize that, that's how you then take great care of yourself so that you can get the support that you need, get the certification, the coaching, the education, the help with your yard, the help with your vacuuming, so that you can be the woman that you want to be. And there is like a give and take here and like a formula to this, but it's possible. And I think that's what I want other women to know. And I think that's what you embody so well is that it's so possible to have the life and the business that you want and the impact that you want. And it really comes down to like the mindset first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and then also, I think women also, there's so many barriers that we put on ourselves. The age thing is a big deal. And, like whether you're having children, it's the biological clock. And then career wise, I was like so funny putting that out there when I did my first keynote. And they said I was 72. We made a mistake. I'm not 72. I'm almost 72. But that was my very first keynote. And so, and I started to do when I was 62. I mean, I hope that inspires young women to know that you don't know where the end game is.
Um,
And just again, you have different times in your life when you're going to spend more time maybe nurturing the kids or putting more into your career, but there's time for everything if you just keep going forward. And I do believe you're right, working on yourself, um, because that sometimes feels like an extravagance, and
yeah,
it's really not.
yeah,
It's really not. It is really, um, especially in this age with so many things and so much noise going on around us. I think it's imperative that we spend time with ourselves, knowing our worth,
yeah,
knowing that we can do things, and again, saying yes with gusto,
yeah.
and then putting in the work that honestly, there's nothing you can't do if you take your natural skills, your natural abilities, and put that with joy and find something that you're joyful about, that you light up about. Find that and you will be successful. I think that is really the key to happiness.
Oh, I totally agree. I totally agree. I've chased down different like paths and rabbit holes, so many women are multi-talented. But what I would say is just exactly what you said. Like find the thing that you love, and you will be financially successful when you chase that. Like you will. And I think that for me, for a long time, I was like, no, it's not possible. I have to do the practical thing. I have to do the thing. But if you do something you love, it shows up in everything that you do in such an incredible way that you can't help but be successful because of it. So I just love that you brought that
Yeah, and also not only that, but the other big part of that is finding your community.
up.
And there are so many communities. And of course, we'd love you to join DeW, and I'd love you to join Women in Digital Dentistry, and anything that floats your boat where you can find a group um, that has a common thread. I'm thinking about even my prayer group. I made a retreat 20 years ago. I still meet with my one of my partners in that like every Saturday. And it's so valuable. Like sometimes we don't think we have time to meet or whatever. Whenever we usually will call each other, go, I'm going to kill my husband. I need to meet you Saturday for sure. Let's get there. Um, because you just, and we especially know and we love each other, and then you can yak a little bit about this or that, and that it's all in love. And I just feel like community, no matter what you're doing, it just brings such a richness to life. And another thing was interesting too. I hope that women are listening to this, that they will look and find their community. I find that is a missing piece for a lot of success in this world. But we're out there. You just have to take a look, and then you have to become a host of that community. That was one of my messages when I was giving my one of my little talks recently was, are you a guest or are you a host? So I love it when someone will join Dental Entrepreneur Woman and they come in and they expect everything to be given to them. When you join a community, you're joining to give,
Yes.
not to get. The more you give and the more involved, it is with Women in Digital Dentistry, the more they dip in and become a member and show up and be of service to those in the community, the more they're going to get out of it. That's going to not only help their life in business, but also in their personal lives.
100%. 100%. One of the things I wanted to also chat about really quickly with you is sometimes when I'm talking about women empowerment to men, I get this like almost like a flinch from them because I think that there is a belief that empowering women means disempowering men. And
Mm-hmm.
I want to like demystify that because I know you have a very strong belief around this. I have a very strong belief around this. I have three brothers. I have a wonderful partner. I have an amazing dad. Like I love men. We need men.
I do too. I love men. I know we need them.
And I think it's like when we empower women, it automatically empowers men because every man's mom is a woman.
Yeah.
So it's like we're all connected. I would love to hear your thoughts on this because I think it's so important that we talk about this.
Well, it is important. And I come up all the time. When I was at this meeting over in Salt Lake, they're like, I think it was so funny. John Stamper's like, you need a dental entrepreneur men. And I'm like, John, I'm not going to do that. I love you, but look, dudes, and we always say this, that I just miss that. I kind of joke about it. If you're a man, you support women in dentistry, you're a dude, DEWD, because they all want to join us. You know why? Because we got something going on here.
Yeah.
We got something going on. And I don't think, I know people ask me that. Don't you feel like you're being just biased or something, or like they can't come in? Because you can't do it. The opposite can't do it. Like you can't just have an old men's club. Like Boy Scouts, even they have to have girls in the Boy Scouts now. I just, I'm sorry, I'm just not a fan of that. I think you can, I don't know. Why can't we have Boy Scouts and then you can have a Boy Girl Scouts? So I don't know. I don't know the answers to that. All I know is, look, you guys have had your old men's club forever. We just started this and now you want a piece of it. Now you want in, and you can come and sit with us. You're welcome to do that. But just, it's just really something special when you have women around a table, because we love sharing. And then you can still take that camaraderie and bring that around a bigger table where we have men and women. I think there's room for all of these communities, honestly, but it is pretty funny how men are all of a sudden like, I can't get in. No, you
Yeah.
can't. Um, so I mean, I don't know. I don't have an answer for it. All I know is that it's kind of funny. Um, and I do say this too, listen to your point earlier. Um, I just want to have a seat at the table. We need an equal amount of seats at the table in dentistry.
Yeah.
It really isn't serving an industry that is 95% women. I mean, think about it. Somebody was telling me about the dental hygiene. The dental hygiene is the number one profession for females that are, like nursing. We have male nurses, and think about um, dental hygiene. I mean, it's like, I don't know, maybe I'm guessing 2% men, and yet we don't have the leadership to help us get. And that's why I think sometimes we're sitting still in the back seat. We didn't have it is a woman-led membership. We need to just change it. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I'm off on a tangent. I'm running down a rabbit hole. I'm sorry. What was the question?
Oh my gosh, no, I think you answered it beautifully. Like, empowering women does not just empower men. And there is value in men specific groups so they can talk about their men things, and then we can have women specific groups where we can talk about our women things. And it's just helpful because we are different. We experience different things. We have, different roles, and it's just helpful to be able to connect with each other. And I remember I was on stage at a speaking event and I started speaking about masculine and feminine energy, not even like the man and the woman. And I saw a guy in the background like roll his eyes. And I actually went to him after. I was like, tell me what you experienced. And he's like, well, I just feel like I'm made to be wrong for what women are going through. And I was like, yeah, like that makes sense why you'd be frustrated. And it's just not true. Like nobody needs to make men wrong to empower women. Like we don't have to blame, we don't have to be angry. It's just literally let's change some of the ways we're doing things to help honor women, continue to grow and thrive, and be moms and CEOs. And let's allow more women at the seat of the table. And that's not making anybody wrong. It's just empowerment. And it's better for everyone when this happens.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I mean, the old book. I actually have never read it. I love saying it. Men are from Mars and women are from Venus. But it's true because, we were at an event I was speaking at. We were talking about men and women. So men will leave, on a Monday. Tom used to come home and say, "I'm leaving for New York today, this afternoon. I'm at the office. I'll leave. I'm coming home Thursday." "Oh, great, honey. Have a great trip." If I did that, I mean, and every woman in the room I asked, okay, so who leaves without, I'm sure you did the pups, right? Who's going to feed them? Who's going to pick them up for, like, especially if you have kids, who's picking them up for what thing, what homework needs to be done? They've got a list on the refrigerator. They've got food in the freezer. And a whole number of other things that we have in our heads that we pretty much orchestrate, but it's not because we have to so much. To your point earlier, we want to. We don't want to give that up,
Yeah.
but just we want them to do their part as well. And but it's just we're wired differently. We're just wired. I'm sorry, guys, well, I shouldn't say that because I think the younger men are better. I think the younger men are used to doing a little bit more of the thinking about things, versus having to have the woman think about everything and then delegate it out. So, kudos to you guys out there that are under 40 and running their households. I got to give you guys credit because you're setting the bar. And then the old guys that we have, and I got married to one. He can still learn. He can still learn. But the other thing that you said, I have to tell him, honey, I love your coffee, but if you would just do another scoop of this
Mhm.
kind of coffee and not fill it up. He does the carafe, we do the pour over, and he always gets it about 3.5 cups. I'm like, if you could just get that to 5 cups, I would be very happy every day. And by golly, he
Yeah.
tries every morning. This is new though. This is like you're never too old to get these things done. Now he's folding the laundry, and he's filling the coffee carafe up to 5 cups. I don't have to drink them all. I mean, but I just like it. I like looking at it in the morning. I've got 5 cups of coffee sitting in there. So,
I love.
but I have to ask. I had
Yes.
to ask. And instead of just doing it myself, there's so much to learn. I'm learning from you, Allison. I mean, that's what I love about young ladies. They have more guardrails on things. They think about what they want. When I was your age, it never occurred to me to think about, oh, what does Anne want? Yeah, just think, oh my gosh. Sometimes I really wish I was 40, just think where I could go, but this is how it is. It is what it is. And we do the best we can. And it's been a great ride so far. So
And I have learned so much from you in so many ways. And you've just been such a leader in our industry. And I know we're going to continue to learn from each other and help rise every woman in our industry. And I'm just so grateful for you and for these conversations and for our ability to help inspire. And for anybody listening to this, like, a woman in business, you're an entrepreneur woman, you are a dentist. DeW is one of my favorite communities. I love being a part of it. It's been such a gift for me in my career. So please go and check it out. I'll leave the link in the show notes. Go say hi to Anne and continue to find your group, like find your people, and let's grow together. So I appreciate you so much, Anne, for being on the podcast today, and just love you so much.
Oh, I love you too, Allison. Thank you so much. I can't wait to follow your career because it's going to continue to grow and thrive, and the lives that you touch are going to be blessed. So yeah, you just take care. Keep doing you. That's what I say. Keep doing you.
Thank you. And thank you for all of you who listen to Women in Digital Dentistry podcast. Please go and follow Anne, follow Dental Entrepreneur Women on social media. And if this podcast resonated with you, if it was helpful, go ahead and share it with a friend. And let's continue to spread the word of empowering women in our industry. So we will see you on our next podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Allison. Have a good one. I'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Women in Digital Dentistry. We hope you found today's discussion inspiring and full of actionable insights to help you thrive in your practice and beyond. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe so you never miss an update. And if you know someone who would benefit from these conversations, please share this podcast with them. We would love to hear your thoughts and feedback, so feel free to leave us a review or connect with us on social media. Together, we are building a powerful community of women leading the way in digital dentistry. Until next time, keep innovating, keep growing, and keep making a difference in the world of dentistry. Thanks for listening.